Well, hello there. Welcome to Different Spirits, a channel where we try to talk about the sorts of distilled spirits that just tend not to get any interest on the channels which just keep talking about whiskey and whiskey and whiskey and more other whiskey. And by the way, have you tried this new whiskey? There's other stuff out there. We try to give that some time. And nothing is probably getting less attention right now than Italian brandy. Oh, grappa, I hear you say? No, grappa is I guess a subclass of Italian brandy, but I'm specifically talking about Italian brandy made by the distillation of fermented wine must. Wine, in other words. So, brandy as we normally think of it. It's out there. There's a lot of it. And man, we don't talk about it very much. So I've got two sets of these things I wanted to do. I'm going to split them up because, frankly, I don't have time to do a video on both of them at the same time. And I'm pretty sure, actually, these are going to wreck my palates for the other ones before I get to them. So I'm going to do these in separate videos. We'll start with these two, which kind of span the full breadth of Italy. This one is from the Piedmont, way up north. And this one is from Sicily. Well, kind of Sicily and or maybe Campania. It's way down south in Italy. Both of these are very old. This one is from 64. This one is from 1970. All right, so what do we got here? Let's go in order. This is a brandy, a Aquavite Divino from Mario Montanaro in the Piedmont. They still have the distillery. Way better known for making grappa than brandy, but some of this stuff did sneak into the U.S. I bought this from West Lakeview Liquors in Chicago from a very nice lady whose name I have forgotten, but she was very excited to have someone buy one of these because apparently they bought a ton of it because it's kind of exciting. So, distilled in 64, has been bottled in oak, was aging in oak until 2008. So 44 years old, and it wasn't especially expensive. I will say the West Lakeview Liquors website is wrong. This is they report like a higher proof on this. This is bottled at 40%, which is actually not too uncommon on older brandies. But hey, we'll roll with it because this is a little bit special. So 44 years old, distilled in 64, from the Piedmont, and made by people who normally make grappa. So what do we got here? On the nose, look at this color. Could be colorant, obviously, but I don't think so. I think this is just the natural color. Let's see what's on the nose. Oh man, I love how this stuff smells. It's intense and earthy. It's very Mar-like. I sometimes get very nerdy and passionate about Mar, the pomace brandy made in France. This is kind of reminding me of that. In fact, if you weren't staring at the Aquavita Divino aspect of this, the brandy thing on the back where it says brandy, you would think, hey, is this some kind of old grappa? It isn't. This is a brandy. This is made from grape must. But man, those sort of pomacey notes really show through. Tea leaves, all the tea leaves, all of them, different kinds. But also like stewed tea, like just overstewed Darjeeling together with overstewed green tea, oolong, all the overstewed teas. Prunes, aromatic tobaccos, so like old man pipe tobaccos, which have a little bit of casing on them. Some stems, just like grape stems. Very high acidity on this nose, which just always drives me crazy with like love and happiness anytime I smell it. Because I'm a little bit of a wine guy too, so anytime I smell something a little sour, I get excited. Dried flowers, dried dust, like old. It smells like an old study, like someone's like books and furniture and leather, somewhere where someone like worked for to do accounting or something. But dig a little deeper, past that initial reaction of is this pomace brandy, and you start to get like peach cobbler. You start to get some like spicy, plummy, almost some perique notes, pre-tobacco, like plummy, spicy, plummy notes. Cinnamon sticks, clove, white pepper, dash of like campfire ash. So it's this. What makes this fun is the marriage of those really, really, really hardcore like pomace brandy notes that I adore, with some softer, fruitier, nicer, just traditional kind of brandy notes, which make me so like as you nose this and you stare at the thing that says brandy on it, you have to wonder like how was this actually made? Part of me suspects that this was like a whole grape fermentation kind of thing. Like, they press the grapes, but they didn't press it off the pomace. Like they just kept all the seeds and the skins and all that other stuff, maybe the stems too, in there, when it went in the still. Or at least maybe there was some maceration going on before it went into the still. That's kind of the sense I get just because of the way this stuff smells is fantastic. And on the palate, yeah, the strength on this, the 40%, it does hurt it a little. Not as much as I imagine it probably creeped a little bit towards that on its own, just by way of having maybe a damp cellar. But yeah, it is cramping the style on this a little bit. But God, is it still pretty good. Teas, again. All the teas, all the tobaccos, dried fruit. Yeah, dried fruit every which way. Plus like a floral thing. So we're kind of nodding a little bit towards the borderies in Cognac a little bit, like almost like flowers, but like flower candy, if that makes sense. So old dust, some kimchi, a little rhubarb in there, red flowers, yeah, lots of red flowers. Some stems again, maybe some raisins in there, orange peel, lemon peel, kind of an appley note, like crab apple. I never used crab apple as a tasting note before, but it needs it here. And yeah, a lot of just drying aromatic tea and some pepper on the finish. God, there's a hell of a lot going on here. And man, I would kill for like an extra 2%, 3% on the proof. So what I have to do is a little bit dangerous, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to add a drop of water to this, literally one drop. Adding a little bit of water to a spirit like this, like something this old, bottled at this low of strength, you're always a little bit on the knife edge because on the one hand, you could just drown it, right? Like these things just disintegrate sometimes. But sometimes it will do the work of kind of improving the body and improving the finish for you. So I'm hoping that's what happens. But in the meantime, while we wait for that to kind of sort itself out, we're going to try brandy number 2 here. This is, I don't know which words come in which order with this, but this is the Heritage Kafo Extra Brandy Reserva 1970 46-year-old. So this was bottled actually pretty recently. This is, if you're curious, lot number 0942101. And this is marked, so it's a, yeah, it's a 46-year-old from 1970. Does the math work out on that? Yeah, okay, okay, whatever. So this is from Kafo, who are better known for their Amaros, actually. A bit confusing because when I looked on their website, they insist their distillery is in Sicily, but the address they give here is in Lombardy, Italy, which is in Campania, which is just across the water from Sicily. So I am not sure exactly where this is from. So Sicily by way of Campania or the other way around. It is 42% alcohol by volume. And yeah, I don't know what to say about it because I couldn't find that much. It is far less expensive than this one, however. So, and as long as we're talking about it, far lighter in color. Look at that. That is a 46-year-old that does not look 46 years old at all. So we're expecting some dead wood on this, which isn't the worst thing in the world. All right. On the nose with this Heritage Caffo. Here we go. Okay, you may not be expecting that. And let me explain what that is. So, what this smells like is really a halfway point between a kind of light brandy and an Amaro, really. I mean, it's right up front, it's the Amaro notes that come through. Yeah, so I'm getting, every time I smell this, I get a little bit mystified. It's fun to try to figure out where the hell this came from. Like, this is not that expensive. This is well under $100. Well under €100, I should say. And it's 46 years old. So what is going on with this? And up front, I'm getting like rhubarb pie and aromatic tree bark. So I'm immediately thinking, oh, this is an Amaro. This is not a brandy at all. What's going on? But persevere, and you start to pick up cinnamon, cardamom, a little aniseed, some golden raisins, some like dried apricots, some notes that actually kind of remind you of like, oh, old brandy. But it's like old brandy married in with those Amaro notes. So, some sarsaparilla coming through. Like tree barky soda. A little spearmint coming through. I mean, it's nice, but, if you come to this expecting to get, like, looking at the price tag and thinking, oh my God, for like, €60 or whatever the hell this was, I'm going to get like this amazing, Cognac like grand old brandy. That's not what this is. What this is acting like is on the nose is more like a digestif of some kind than like that kind of, old Cognac, old Armagnac, whatever. So you're going to get a little bit of like a not culture shock, but spirit shock. Can I say that? We're going to coin that. Spirit shock on the nose of this initially. On the palate. Same kind of fusion effect. It feels like a halfway point between some kind of light style of brandy with an Amaro. Which makes me think. So, what I mean by light brandy is I don't think this is not like Armagnac. This did not come off the stills at some kind of low plate at 50% alcohol. By no means. This feels like it was distilled to a much higher strength. Kind of stripped a lot more congenitors out in the process. I would imagine this coming off the stills at 80%, 90%. It's not really keeping a lot of the grapey flavor to it. But and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's very kind of aromatic. It's very fun in its own way. But as you taste this, again, you can't help but speculate where this is coming from. So, light floral honey, golden raisin, marzipan, some cardamom coming through. So some very light, kind of pleasant brandy notes, but then again, the rhubarb, the tree bark, a little black tea, mint leaves, orange peel, black pepper. So, and then it's kind of got this very long, nice finish on that same kind of mixture. So, is this an Amaro? Is this a brandy? What's going on? I don't think they were cheating with this. I don't think they were trying to play, shenanigans with the brandy appellation in Italy. I think what's going on is this is a very old brandy that was aged maybe in an Amaro cask somehow. So a couple of possibilities. Maybe this was just lying around in some dead wood somewhere. Someone grabbed it and thought, oh, we can sell this, and then they finished it in an ex-Amaro cask. But I don't think so, because the Amaro characters kind of stick around more than I would expect with kind of just a finish. What I'm thinking, and if if you're from Kafo and please tell me down below. What I'm thinking is maybe like back in 1970, this just got dumped in the dead wood was the ex-Amaro cask. This just got dumped into some barrels they had lying around that it had previously had Amaro in them. There wasn't much, juice left for the cask to give, but it just sat there, aging away for, 46 odd years. That's kind of the impression I'm getting. It's like maybe like full maturation in a pretty much dead ex-Amaro cask. That's fun. I mean, I was really a little bit disappointed when I started with this, but I will say, especially, so I'm getting over a sickness right now. I was coming to this, during as a sort of nightcap during the nights when I was sick. It was really nice. There's a way in which those Amaro flavors, you might accuse them of being a little simple, a little bit not artificial. Well, okay, maybe artificial too, but like added on, like they're just kind of surface. But as a digestif, when you're a little bit sick, you just want something to drink. It's kind of nice. I kind of started to like this a little bit. Just again, do not expect grand old brandy from this. I'm gonna give this 4 drops of water. See how it reacts. We'll come back to it. In the meantime, let us return to our Mario Montanaro brandy from 1964. So again, my hope with this was that the water would not destroy it, that it would actually just improve the body and the finish a little bit. On the nose, the water kicks up a lot of pepper and a lot of perique, which I like because I love perique. It's like my favorite flavor in the world. Yeah, God, I do like this stuff. I wish I could justify buying another bottle, but I probably can't. And on the palate, here we go. This will tell the tale. Oh. Okay. Yeah, actually the water does improve the mouthfeel and the finish. And actually, so the pomace brandy elements in this, the teas, the dried fruit, the tobacco kind of leaf elements still rule the day. But with water, like the peaches and the nectarines, the stone fruit, they start to creep in that little bit more. I mean, there's just a lovely marriage of those two sides of brandy coming into play in this bottle. And and I just kind of adore it. I can't give it a super high score, again, because it feels a little bit cramped by the proof in the way that, say, the Pouzet that I adore so much was not. But this is very good. I'm going to give this an 87 plus out of 100. 87 plus for the Mario Montanaro 64. Probably not a good value at the end of the day, but if you want to try something real different and really a little bit special, this is a great bottle to grab. Impress friends at tastings. All right, let's come back to the Kafo. 1970, 46-year-old. Actually, because this was bottled earlier, this is actually older, strictly speaking. On the nose. Ah, okay. So with water, the Kafo actually becomes a little bit more brandy-like. It becomes more aromatic. All those kind of Amaro-y notes are still there, but they move back a hair bit, and you get a little bit more like potpourri and honey stuff coming through. I mean, it still doesn't feel totally natural, if I can put it that way, but it's nice. It's nice, especially if you're looking for something different. And on the palate, yeah, again, as on the nose, the brandy element of this kind of reasserts itself. There's not a ton going on in that brandy element. Again, I would imagine this is coming off the still 80-90% plus strength. But it's nice. There's a light, refined, aromatic, but by no means bad character to this. It's floral. It's a little sweet, and it plays well with those kind of Amaro elements. Yeah, this is a very strange brandy, and it feels like it shouldn't work, but it does. So, score-wise, really difficult to score. I'm going to give this an 84 caution mark. You know, the little triangle with the exclamation in the middle as a note of caution. The reason I'm giving it that is to tell you, do not think this is what it says on the label. This is not what it says on the label. This is not a grand old brandy by any means. This is kind of weird too, but this is really its own thing. What this is not a brandy. It's not an Amaro either. What it is just a hell of a jack of all trades kind of digestif. Like if you have like 10 people hanging around after a dinner and they're all getting espresso or whatever, and you just want one bottle to plop down the middle for everyone to kind of enjoy as they, kind of start to head out. This is a hell of a choice. It's the fact that it splits the difference between Amaro and brandy. I mean, it means that it's not great as an old brandy, but it's a hell of a versatile digestif. So 84 points, caution mark. And yeah, that's what I got. 87 plus, 84 points, caution. And I will do some more Italian brandies in the future because I think we're kind of sleeping on it in general. I think we should be looking at this category a little bit more seriously. Thanks for watching, and cheers.